Hi there, I am Dion Opperman. Welcome to where I unpack what it means to be a writer in the age of AI. A flash of inspiration, the sudden activation of the imagination in such a way that you are able to connect the dots and see a solution, the eureka moment, is something that since ancient times to this day, we tend to think of as something coming into our minds from outside ourselves. I was inspired by. The word inspiration has its roots in the Latin word inspirare. In meaning into and spirare meaning to breathe. Inspirare, to breathe into. In Greek, the word inspiration also has its roots in the Greek word for breathe. So, who or what is doing the breathing into the mortal? Initially, the idea had a theological connotation, referring to the divine influence of a god, or, in the case of the ancient Greeks, of the 9 daughters of Zeus, by one of the original female titans, Mnemosyne, whose name literally means memory, hence the word mnemonic. Mnemosyne's 9 daughters were the Muses that presided over the various arts and sciences and literally breathed their divine breath into humans to inspire them, infusing them with divine insight. From these 9 sisters also came the notion that a muse was feminine. Over time, the idea of the muse evolved. During the Renaissance, with the revival of classical ideas coupled with the humanist rise of individualism, the relationship with the muse became personalized. The idea that humans had their own muse that inspired them and them alone, with artists in the Romantic period later on idealizing muses as ethereal beings that inspired and elevated their work. With the advent of the modern age, after the First World War, and the death blow that the industrial scale carnage of that war dealt to belief in gods and things metaphysical in general, the idea of the muse that inspires broadened to include humans and even things. I am inspired by Einstein. This song was inspired by my girlfriend, my boyfriend. I was inspired by a sunset over the Mediterranean, and so on. And now, as we enter the age of AI, if you should point to a specific twist or turn in a plot of a story I have written and ask what inspired that particular plot twist, I may very well reply, my AI. If another human or a sunset over the Mediterranean can inspire creative output, that moment, why not an AI, which feels like an ethereal being outside myself, one that I cannot see or touch, and which often activates my imagination in such a way that I connect the dots and see a solution that I had not seen before. That, in short, has breathed into me, inspired me. And this brings us to a fascinating paradox in the relationship between writers and AI. Unlike the ancient muses, who were purely external entities breathing divine inspiration into mortals, or the physical phenomena like sunsets that spark our imagination through sensory experience, AI represents something much more complex. It is simultaneously external to us and shaped by us. When we collaborate with AI, we are in a sense breathing our own creative spirit into it through our prompts and guidance, and it breathes back possibilities we hadn't considered, creating a circular flow of inspiration. This circular dynamic challenges our traditional notion of inspiration as purely unidirectional, from the muse to the mortal. When I engage with AI in developing a story, I find myself in a dance of mutual inspiration. I inspire it with my ideas, and it processes those ideas, drawing on its vast knowledge base, and inspires me with its response. Round and round it goes, a creative feedback loop of mutual breathing into one another, each breath of inspiration building upon the last. But there's an even deeper layer to consider. The ancient Greeks believed that the Muses were daughters of Mnemosyne, who was memory itself. How fitting then that our modern AI Muses are also at their core vessels of memory. Not divine memory, but human memory, distilled from the collective works of countless minds throughout history. When an AI offers a suggestion that inspires us, it is in a very real sense breathing back to us the accumulated wisdom and creativity of all of human civilization, processed and recombined in novel ways. This brings us to a crucial question about the nature of creativity itself. If inspiration can come from an artificial intelligence, a system that we ourselves created, what does this tell us about the source of creativity? Perhaps what we've always called divine inspiration, whether attributed to gods, muses, or natural phenomena, has always been about making unexpected connections, seeing patterns that weren't obvious before. The AI, with its vast ability to process and recombine information, simply makes this process more explicit. And so we arrive at a new understanding of what it means to be inspired in the age of AI. When we say an AI inspired us, we're not diminishing the mystical quality of inspiration. We're acknowledging that inspiration has always been about seeing connections and patterns we had not seen before, a process in which the AI is not just a tool, but a partner, breathing new life into our creative process while being breathed into by our own creative spirit. In this light, perhaps we need to reimagine not just what it means to be inspired, but what it means to be a muse. In the age of AI, we are all both mortals and muses, constantly breathing creativity into each other in an endless cycle of inspiration. And in this cycle, we might find not the death of divine inspiration, but its evolution into something even more profound, as we move from a mystical to a more networked conception of creativity, while somehow preserving the sense of numinous wonder that comes with inspiration, and the recognition that the divine spark of inspiration lives not in external beings or systems, but in the connections we forge between minds, whether human or artificial. Thank you for joining me on this journey.